This week on Dad Domesticus,
Winning with whiskey.
Cheers.
Cheers.
A little catch up for everybody. It has been about 2 months since we've done a whining about. And I'll say we went to California, came back, had to do new flooring installed. Mm-hmm. I literally spent a weekend, Thursday through Monday, moving furniture, tearing up flooring, cleaning, and then moving furniture back. And my body stopped me between driving to California back and doing that flooring. I think there was after the flooring went in on like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I moved all the furniture. And then Thursday, I was like, babe, I think I feel sick. And I went to bed and I
don't think I saw you for about 48 hours after that.
Yeah.
I mean, you were taking care of the kids still, but yeah.
I just crashed and everything took longer to get back into like a rhythm.
Yeah, for sure. I think we bit off a little bit more than we could chew. And this was all coinciding with we were at that point fully vaccinated. Mm-hmm. So starting to see people again. So learning to balance a social life again has been, we're enjoying it, but we have a full calendar this month. And
when we started writing things back in the calendar and going wait, we have to get organized. We're like, okay, coming back to normal. I like this.
Yeah. It feels good, but we're definitely kind of on the other side of that. And relearning how to be a part of society while doing our family unit the way we do.
Well, and then it just in doing these videos and trying to make and shoot, edit, and do all those things. Like I'm a one man team, so it takes a lot of time to get that done. So the pan videos I've been doing, we'll put a little video to those. The Caraway review, all of that has really it just takes time, and so.
Quick plug, if you're thinking about going non-toxic on your pans, check out Alan's last two videos.
I won't say my review, but check it out.
It's a ceramic set, if you don't know Caraway, and then he also does a side-by-side of four...
Like a pan shootout.
Pan shootout for non-toxic options and how they cook.
We'll put it up here. Yeah. It'll be right here. So, anyways, that's where we're at. Thank you for sticking around with us. And shall we get a little more into this?
Yeah, let's go into our plant-based. So first of all, this it took me a while to really get into the nitty-gritty of the definition. So just in case you came across this video, you don't know who we are, and you're like, I'm just thinking about plant-based, or I'm thinking about vegan or vegetarian. Quick definitions.
Definition of terms. So
yes,
let's start with what do you want to start with what we're not?
Let's just start with
what we're doing.
I'm going to start with vegan. And
okay, because that's definitely what we are not.
So we're not vegan.
We're not vegan.
So vegan is the most restrictive. It is no animal,
almost product
of any sort. So
honey.
no honey, no cheese, no milk, no dairy of any sort. Everything you eat is derived from a plant. Vegetarian. Introduces, there's a couple of different types of vegetarians, but in general, a vegetarian will eat dairy, cheese, eggs, honey, things like that. And then the term that I found that we both resonated with was plant-based. And that's where you try to have the majority of your diet be derived from plants.
I always say for your mom, because I've told her how we try to be plant-based, and like Marty, we're veggie-heavy.
Veggie-heavy. That's a good way to put it.
I like to put it that way to your mom.
Yeah.
Because then it's not that we don't eat meat.
Right. And often when we're with family, that's when we are eating meat.
In fact, we had barbecue tonight.
We did have barbecue tonight. This is a weird night for us to be doing this video.
I mean, but it's kind of a good example. Like, we had barbecue tonight, but last night we had Indian food. The other night before that, we had a pasta that was totally veggie, almost vegan.
Yeah. In fact, we do a lot of vegan recipes because they're just good.
Yeah.
So, and then on top of that, there's, and this might help you with your resources in particular, particularly the vegan diet. It's actually a lifestyle. It's not just the food they're putting in their mouths, but often a strict vegan won't have any leather. It's very, very tied to animal rights, advocacy, things like that. And we're not against that, but that's not our motivator. So basically like once I found the term plant-based, I was able to find a lot more resources that spoke to us and what we're trying to do and what we're trying to choose.
Yeah.
And some people are plant-based and eat no meat. Some people are plant-based and eat some meat. We're on the and eat some meat. And we definitely do dairy.
Yeah, I don't think we could. To take out dairy would be a bit.
That would be sad. Yeah, no. So that's why we say we're plant-based.
That's why,
And then why did we do this? That's a big question. But
so I'll start off by saying we've been in Texas almost 6 years now.
6 years, yeah.
6 years plus.
A little more than 6,
A little more than 6 years. And coming from California, our diet in California, while not plant-based, we did not eat as much meat in California as when we came here to Texas.
Yeah, there's a lot more when you're going out. There's a lot more options that are just a little bit more healthy in nature. There's kind of a whole fast casual scene there that really doesn't exist here, where you can go and get something that is a little bit less expensive than a sit-down restaurant, but isn't your standard fast food fare.
Yeah.
And we really missed kind of those options. They're here, but not nearly as prevalent.
Well, and especially the part of Fort Worth that we're in North Fort Worth.
It's just kind of chain restaurant
It's
haven.
chain restaurants or very meat-centered plates.
Yeah, a lot of the mom and pops are barbecue, and believe me, they are excellent, but we got sick of barbecue real fast.
Well, and it's not that we didn't like barbecue. It's just I can't do barbecue. I can't do really any meal the same over and over and over.
Yeah. And he also doesn't like Tex-Mex.
It's just not my jam.
I love Tex-Mex.
I know Tex-Mex is in your heart, but here's the deal. Here's the most common complaint I'll say with a lot of Californians that move to Texas.
Because there are many.
There are many. There is this question like, do you want to grab Mexican? And I rephrase that and go, wait, do you want Mexican or Tex-Mex? Because there is a big difference between the two. One comes covered in queso. Queso.
You say that like it's a bad thing.
It's just melted Velveeta.
It is. Well, that's just bad.
With
queso,
Rotel.
But there's some excellent quesos out there.
There's some excellent quesos. But generally, it's covered in like a cheese sauce, whereas Mexican food, especially in Southern California, where a lot of it is that Baja style, is very different.
Yes, it definitely is, and it's certainly a little more.
Let me just clear the air on that part, because that would bug me.
But as you can see, if we're going from the expectation of fast casual, very often, frankly, Baja Mexican was what we were doing, to really the only things of us being able to find that's like, kind of on that middle range would be either, Tex-Mex or barbecue. Our systems were a little shocked.
And when we first got here, it was like, okay, we knew that things were going to be different, but then I didn't realize just how much meat we would be consuming and how much that would be. You can eat a different meat plate every day of the week from different places. And I just found myself going like, okay, we eat a lot of meat.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it also kind of coincided. We were at that point, kind of younger 30s, starting to get a little older, certainly seeing a lot of health issues in our family. We have a lot of cancer throughout our families, a lot of other kind of health issues later in life. And I haven't disclosed this on this forum, but my dad passed away too young, not because of anything plant related, but certainly I think we had a little bit of like, we really need to get our diets in order to make sure that we can be there long term for our kids, so
we definitely wanted a sense that like our diet is contributing to a healthier lifestyle.
Correct, yeah.
Than taking away from, because it is hard for me to eat healthy naturally. Like it's not that it definitely has been a challenge for me in this. Yeah. Do you want to, is that a good little segue?
Yeah, that's fine. And I mean, this is kind of moves us into our successes, but we have found when we eat more plants that we just flat out feel better. I think both of us, the way that our DNAs are set up, we really seem to come alive when we eat a whole lot of vegetables, which...
Well, and I'll say this, when we've had very large, colorful salads, and I mean colorful meaning there's 3 to 5 different shades of green,
eating the rainbow.
Yeah, eating the rainbow on a plate. I go to bed feeling like, oh, okay, that was a good meal. Whereas if I'm like tonight, I'm feeling like, that was a lot.
Yeah. I can like literally feel my body still digesting. And I don't think I realized that difference in the feeling when your body's working through a lot of meat fat versus your body working through a complex carb and more of the starchy vegetables, things like that. Like you really do feel a lot different. And the feeling of full and how long you kind of feel that slump is so much shorter when we've had a vegetable rich meal. So we really do feel better.
Yeah, definitely feel better after. I can tell when we've been bad about it. We've had a couple of nights of eating meat, and we're like, okay, we need to get back onto the veggie train.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely on our more meat heavy weeks, we're like, I just need a big salad.
Through the holidays, it kind of goes out the window, but that because it's holidays. But then you get back on that, and you're like, this feels good.
It does feel good, yeah, for sure. And then another success, which has just kind of been a byproduct, is that our kids really are not terribly picky, and there's not a lot of vegetables they won't eat. I won't say they polish off their vegetable, of course, but they don't blink. I can give them literally like a handful of kale, and they just eat it.
We definitely have there are definitely strategies that we've done to try to help that out. So like I cook a lot of meals, and I'm giving the kids food especially when it comes to like veggie stuff, because I can just chop up stuff, go, oh, hey, try this. And then they try and like, oh, that's good. And you go, oh, that's going to be our meal tonight. I'll show you what it is later. And so I give them a lot of pieces of things that I know that may be foreign to them, so they have an expectation. If it's something they don't like, okay, do we want to put that on the side for you? Okay, we can put that on the side. Or you don't have to eat that part, but you have to eat the rest of the parts of the salad.
Yeah. Okay. And that's really helped because there's certain things like Charlotte will not eat potatoes for the life of her.
Potatoes and eggs. Oh, it's killing our breakfast game.
It really is killing our breakfast game.
But we've given it to her blind, like mixed it up in food, and she's like, this tastes eggy. And I'm like, oh.
I've told her something and like literally, no, that's not potato, that's this. And she says, okay. And then she was like, ew, I don't like that. So that also helps us kind of understand what we might need to take out of it. You know, also like any of the more spicy, like onion-based things like that, although those kids eat onions. But, she
was literally eating a purple onion today.
She was, but it really wasn't very spicy.
I can only like onions.
Yeah. But that's been a great kind of byproduct. And certainly, I don't think we've actually talked much about like the way that we've introduced food with our kids, but more or less, like we don't force them to eat anything, but they do have to try everything on their plate. And they will eat pretty much any plant we throw at them besides potatoes.
Besides potatoes.
Yeah, which has been great.
Yeah.
I think the other success is that it's really expanded our palates. We're total foodies. We really like to eat interesting things. It has.
I'll say this. There's one more success, but I'm gonna put this as a success and challenge. Is that it has forced us to find new staples, which has been, I'm going to say, a success, because when we do have new staples that we found that make it into our rotation,
huge celebration.
So happy about it. But it's so much fun to find those, but it is challenging to find those.
It's so hard. And yeah, we've definitely had plenty of meals that you can tell we're all just picking at it because we didn't prepare it right.
Or something didn't work, and you're like, you know what? That's fine.
Yeah. So definitely have had a learning curve, but I think we've discovered a lot of new fruits and vegetables. In fact, a fun game when we like make it out to Central Market or something like that, which is kind of like a Whole Foods type for you non-Texans.
You went full on Texan. Whole Foods for your non-Texans.
I was raised here. Anyway, so it's fun for us to they have a huge produce section, so it's fun to go there and just pick out something we haven't seen before, haven't tried before.
I love to let the kids go, okay, you pick out one thing. And it should be one weird, it'll end up being like a weird melon, or sometimes you have to pick out something we don't know.
Yeah. I think we've come back with pretty much any weird fruit we can find.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's been fun. And then we actually covered this a little bit in our last episode when we were talking about how we've moved down to one income and some budget tips, but it really has reduced our grocery budget by a lot.
Plant-based, eating more veggie, I feel like your dollar will stretch so much further.
It's true. And I always I see this often because I watch a lot of, YouTube videos on plant-based things like that. And they're like, it's not as expensive as they say. Like, I think there's this idea that eating like this is more expensive.
Well, I'll say because so much of what, quote, healthy food is, especially at a restaurant, it can be more expensive.
Yeah.
If you're not just getting like a normal salad, but if you think of like restaurants that tout themselves as healthy, we've got, what's that little breakfast place?
Healthy Hippie?
No, not Healthy Hippie. The First Watch.
Oh, First Watch, yeah.
First Watch. It's touted to be like the healthier place, but it's like $13 for a breakfast plate. And I'm like, okay, yeah, this is a treat for us.
Well, also, if you go to the grocery store and you go down the plant-based aisle, yes, a Beyond Burger versus a meat patty is a couple dollars more per patty. Mm-hmm. But if you are making it from scratch, if you're just doing a tofu stir fry or something like that, it is dirt cheap to do it that way. I think that the problem is the packaged plant-based foods are really expensive and frankly not that healthy. So sometimes we'll do them and we enjoy them, but because we have that switch, we're like, I'll just eat a turkey patty instead. That to us is the better option than even necessarily the...
I'd rather make myself like a black bean patty or something like that.
Which they're not that hard to do, really.
No, they're not that bad. Yeah.
For sure. Okay, great. So some things that have been really difficult. Alan kind of mentioned this, but finding new staples. I think especially once we really committed to this about a year ago is when we the point where we haven't returned.
We started 2 years ago and played around with it, and then it was like, okay, let's really dive into this.
Yeah, I think we committed.
We committed, yes.
And I think we ate a lot of pastas and salads for those first little bits because those are the easy recipes to find. And we had a lot of failures.
Well, and they're easy to make veggie centric.
Mm-hmm.
You can make a cold pasta or warm pasta very veggie centric. Mm-hmm. With just taking out like sausage. Okay, can we do instead of sausage? Well, you can make tofu into a sausage thingy. Or you can just go, hey, we're going to load up on veggies and do a different type of sauce.
We replace everything with mushrooms, everything.
Mushrooms are key for us. I know that some people aren't a fan of them. I get that. But if you're good into mushrooms, man,
it can replace anything. There's so many great varieties of mushrooms that can really kind of replace those textures, those flavors. But that wasn't one of our talking points, but it is now.
Yeah.
So I think that was really difficult to actually find those go-to meals. And that's the other thing is menu planning was taking us forever. So I plan the menu and I go shopping and Alan does the cooking. Mm-hmm. And I think I was spending hours a week just pouring through things for especially with Charlotte not eating potatoes, that kind of takes out a lot of the good vegetarian recipes.
So many veggie recipes.
So it was hard to get to the point where I can now list 10 to 15 recipes that are just the no-brainers for us. And then we usually eat 2 or 3 of those a week and then 2 or 3 of something that's new or different.
This week's an intense week.
I know. I gave you challenges this week. I got a new cookbook.
You got a new cookbook. We're trying some things out. It was my first time making Indian food, and I think I spent 2 hours in the kitchen.
It was intense.
Yeah.
And I didn't like it.
You didn't like it.
I
That's
didn't
all
like
good.
it.
Okay, keep going, but I've got one to add at the end of this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that was really it. Just finding new staples. Yeah.
I'll say that one of the things that has been, finding new staples, but also one of the things that has helped us in this is allowing yourself the grace of a do-over. Mm-hmm. Because what we do is we make enough that tomorrow, whatever we have for dinner will be our lunches leftover. So there's almost never a meal that we're making that is just for dinner. It's always dinner and lunch tomorrow. Mm-hmm. And so we have to allow ourselves the grace of wow, that meal was not good. Mm-hmm. And it may be I screwed something up. It may be just the recipe that you handed me.
Yeah.
We just did not connect with that person, however they made it.
Yeah.
I'll be doing a recipe going, okay, that's kind of weird. And then we get to it and we're like, it's just not us.
Yeah, why they do that? Well, I'm pulling off of it now because it's can so easily lead to bad recipes. But there's so many bloggers that put recipes out on Pinterest.
There's a lot of Pinterest fails.
There's a lot of Pinterest fails, and I think we've kind of realized I think we're a level above the
Okay, Pinterest is great, And can lead to so much inspiration.
And we found some great recipes from people that I know are just
Yes.
like home cookers, and they're doing a great job. But there's also times where like that flavor was off. I don't know why they made that choice. Like how we made one that was supposed to be a Greek salad. It was like basically a Mexican salad with Greek seasoning on it.
You could have said, like, if you would have said, this is a Mexican like salad with like Greek yogurt.
Right, yeah.
Or something like that. It
was bizarre, yeah. So anyway, like we've kind of to get to all that has been difficult to get. And then also there's certainly, as with any family and any array of tastes, there's always limitations. But one of mine is that I don't like Indian. Can't do it. I've tried hard. I
love Indian food.
So if you have great Indian food recipes for people that don't tend to like Indian food, please put them in the comments, because I'm trying so hard, especially because he loves it and the kids love it. But that's my limitation. And then, yeah, like we mentioned, Charlotte kind of has certain staple foods she won't eat.
And it's funny because my limitations on food really don't revolve around plants. I think raw onions is the only thing that like kind of makes me go, meh.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'll eat them in some things, but generally raw onions is my only like, I don't care for that.
Yeah.
The things I don't care for are like that. I'm like, I will, unless a little grandma is making it for me and puts it in front of me, the things I'm not going to eat are generally like guts.
Yeah.
I've eaten guts all around the world of various animals and animal parts. And those are the things that I'm kind of like still like not like menudo. If you know what menudo is, I still don't care for menudo.
Yeah, you never found a menudo you like, even if it's a categorically good menudo, you still don't like it.
Yeah. I give the grandma example because I was at a restaurant and I was like, oh, menudo. They're like, oh, our menudo is great. And I'm like, I've never really liked it. And I ordered something else, and it was breakfast time at this Mexican place, and the grandma in the back brought me a free bowl of menudo.
You eat that menudo.
I ate that menudo, and I was like, thank you. Oh, this is very good. You know, I am lying to this grandma, and she's like looking at me. Oh, now he likes menudo. Okay, yeah. And I got out of the restaurant, and I was like,
and to this day, she probably thinks she
totally thinks
menudo.
yeah. Thankfully, that is a restaurant very far away from us.
Yeah. So anyway, so I think that's been a challenge, is just kind of pleasing all the palates. And I wish I liked Indian food because has this amazing thousands of years history of these great vegetarian dishes. So really, if you're going to go veggie, you should have a lot of Indian food in your diet, and that's just not an option for us. So I think we're back to the Trader Joe's frozen meals for Alan on those.
Which I like. I'm glad I like those.
Yeah. And then we cannot agree on soups. Soups is another great vegetarian staple because you can kind of make, for one, we'll do a end of the week, throw it all in a pot. We do
like
a kitchen sink.
There's like a Monday or Tuesday of stuff left over that is... It's not our Friday, it's our Monday or Tuesday.
Yeah, well, especially like very often we'll pair like roasted vegetables with a grain. So we have tons of farro, barley, different types of rice, things like that. So all the grains go in there from the week.
We get
all
these
the
big
leftover
soups
veggies
or a big stir fries. And if you've never done a kitchen sink stir fry, it is so good to do.
Also so good, yeah, because you can just kind of throw whatever in there. Yeah. But to him, he would eat like ramen or pho. Or kind of really any broth-based soup, probably every day of the week.
I could probably eat ramen 2 times a week, and I could have pho for like a meal once or twice a week, and I'd be happy.
He would be more than happy. And like that to me, like I like them, but for one, they belong in the winter.
No. I don't. The ramen, especially when it's got that big old chunk of what's called the pork belly. Oh, so good. I know this is like our veggie talk, but I'm just saying, like I can totally do a veggie ramen bowl.
So you could do, basically broth-based or Asian soups.
Yep.
Probably 5 times a week.
Yep. Or bibimbap. I love a tofu bibimbap.
Or a bibimbap. Whereas I like a good hearty like chowder or a creamy soup. We found some really good vegetarian ones that are like use the coconut milk or use blended potatoes.
And it's not that they don't taste good,
but that's not your thing.
It's just not. If I have the choice between like a bowl of ramen or like I think we did like a butternut squash cool thing. I was like, this butternut squash is very good.
Oh gosh, butternut squash soup is so good.
but it's not my ramen.
But yeah, like he'll eat like a bowl of that more like hearty type soup, and he's like, "Well, what else are we having?" Whereas you can eat a bowl of pho and not ask what else there's, which I don't understand. But, so we just have different views on soups. So that's made our veggie journey a little bit more difficult too.
Yeah.
Okay, good resources. I did want to throw some out just that we have found really useful, just in case you're thinking about embarking in just eating more plants or actually going full vegetarian or vegan. So actually our first vegan cookbook we tried is called Thug Kitchen. And we actually don't use it a lot because everything is really intense.
There's a quicker version of Thug Kitchen.
There's Thug 101, which we have as well, but it's a lot of pastas. So I think we've kind of gotten away from that one too.
I think we really love what they do.
Yeah.
And what they are is just really unique takes on staples. So you can find like your migas, but done in a vegan friendly or very vegetarian friendly way.
And what's so good about it that I think we were drawn to initially and appreciate is that it's kind of geared towards meat eaters who are looking for something that will kind of fill that.
Yeah.
So not that they're actually like making fake meat or even using fake meat at all, but they're trying to replace that that flavor, that texture.
And let me get this. It's not like they're trying to make like a tofu sausage. They're trying to give you a plate that if you like, a heavy, dense, very umami, savory style plate, and you don't want to have a lot of animal protein and animal fat in there, they will find they've got ways to adjust different ingredients that really replace those flavors and give you something, if not like dead on, like very close.
Very close. It would fool you. Also, if you are in any way sensitive about language or you're thinking about buying one for your teenager, don't. Not this one. It cusses that. It's colorful. Yeah.
I'm doing the recipes. I'm laughing the whole time.
Laugh a lot.
Now, I can't read it out loud to my 5-year-old, but it's funny. Or to my mom. My mom, she would.
She would not appreciate this. I'm sorry, Sylvia.
She would not.
Another one that we've been doing recently, so it's a blog, and she actually just came out with an Instant Pot cookbook, but it's Rainbow Plant Life, and she can build a flavor like no other.
What did we just have from her?
So we did a mushroom stroganoff.
Oh, that was so good.
You honestly would not know. I mean, obviously the texture of a beef is not in there.
It was just awesome. It was just even
but the flavor, like she somehow makes it taste that meat umami. Should define umami just in case.
Umami is savory. It's in the same way like you have sweet, sour, salty. There's that fatty taste. A great way is like a steak. A steak is not sweet. It's not sour. There are salty components because of the flavor, the seasonings that you put on there. But a steak is that umami flavor. A lot of people say sushi is an umami flavor. A lot of meat products are umami. It's that fattiness. It's like when you bite into the burger and you get that meaty.
It's what sticks to your tongue on a burger. That's what umami is.
Yeah.
And she really does a great job of replacing things. She is Indian, and so she has really great Indian recipes, which that's the one we tried that unfortunately I did not like. I did recognize as I was eating it, I was like, this is a really good recipe. Like I could tell
it was,
the flavors were on. Yeah. I just don't like them. But she's done a really fantastic job of going into other food types and kind of building those flavors around it. And I feel like maybe like kind of her Indian cooking background has helped her really just know how to build those flavors and things like that, because she's excellent. And you can download her ebook on her website. And then, like I said, she just came out with an Instant Pot cookbook, which we're working our way through.
Yeah. Instant Pot, also a really good thing to have.
So both the kitchen and Rainbow Plant Life, you're going to spend some time in the kitchen.
And you know
they're both from scratch, 100%.
And you know what? I'll say this. One of the things that I've found with this is cooking is that this is going to up your cooking game. Even if you are an experienced cook, the amount of new techniques and new ingredients and recipes, order of ingredients that you may not have normally put things in, may challenge you.
Yeah. Well, and I think especially the vegan cookbooks
Oh,
in
the vegan
particular,
ones,
because so many products have like milk powder in them or honey or things like that that are not vegan. They really are from scratch when you're looking at vegan. So if you're going vegetarian, like not vegan, you can always look at those, but then like see, like very often we won't throw the plant milk in there because we don't keep it on hand, but we'll just throw regular milk in. Like we just did a normal yogurt as opposed to a coconut yogurt in the Indian recipe, things like that. So sometimes we do a couple of things to make our lives a little easier.
Yeah.
Another cookbook that we've really been enjoying is called Eat Real Food. This is a vegetarian one, and she's actually not even full vegetarian. I think her book is, but her whole thing is just eating more whole foods, and so that's kind of her philosophy. But she has a lot of really good things, a lot of fresh things, and a lot of kind of staple replacement things. She uses a lot of lemon, so Alan's not.
Okay, I'll say that's one of my other flavors. I like lemon, but I like it as like a background thing. I don't like it as like a forefront. Yeah.
She's into the lemons.
Oh, we do. That's the one. Oh, because I remember I've gone like, man, we're getting a lot of lemon, a lot of lime in these recipes. Yeah.
And then the other thing I found really useful is on Instagram, I follow #PlantBased. I followed both vegetarian and vegan for a while, but a lot of people use those hashtags to put like really terrible animal torture type of things
Because
up.
it's
Part of their.
It's not that like they like animal torture, but it's to
Right.
stand up for like we'll say stand up
Stand
with like
against,
stand
yes.
up with like PETA and things like that, which I understand what they are doing.
Right. And I'm not against their cause, but when I'm looking for recipes,
We'll say that's not our conviction.
that's not our conviction. Exactly. That's not our motivator. So I found #PlantBased is very nice. There are also some really great Instagram accounts, which I didn't think to write down, so I don't have them on top of my head, but I'll put them in the show notes. Yeah.
And I think just generally I think also it helps when someone is already wanting to do the cooking in the house. Because I really love cooking now. Like I got my what is it? My little what's it called?
He's got himself like an apron.
I got my apron.
We've got him a couple specialty knives he's enjoying.
Yeah, I've got a knife. I sharpen my own knives now.
It's like his ritual at night. Sometimes he'll go on Instagram and sharpen knives, so follow him. But is that on your journal?
I'll do that on live on the Aldeburgh.
Aldeburgh, yeah.
But I have found it's really helpful when someone already wants to do the cooking and takes this on as a challenge, where it's not like, how are we going to, but, how are we going to?
Yeah.
It's that
It's fun for us.
Yeah, it's fun.
For you.
For me, yes, because I do a lot of the cooking.
You do the cooking. I used to be the primary cook back in the day. And I think the other thing that's really helpful is when you have other people that are in the journey with you. Like, I don't think we would have necessarily gone this way, but our Alan's sister and her husband, so I guess our brother and sister-in-law, whatever. I don't know
My brother-in-law.
your brother-in-law,
My
his
sister.
my brother and sister-in-law. There we go.
There you go.
Are vegetarian. Well, Laura's almost vegetarian. But
Isaac is
full.
vegetarian. Yeah.
And that's been really helpful because, for one, she's the one who's turned me on to a lot of pretty much all of this in terms of resources. And when we're in their home or they're in our home, like it's nice to see the way that they prepare recipes and things they've tried. So it is really nice when you have somebody else on that journey with you.
Yeah.
People get kind of weird about plant-based people sometimes, so it's nice just to have people that are like, and we have no problem with eating meat, and we very often do it. In fact, that's one of the reasons why I think we'll never go full vegetarian, is we want to be able to go into any home and travel into any culture and be able to eat the food. And so that's just not a step I don't think we're ever going to really take, even though I've pretty much lost my taste. Like chicken, I don't want it anymore. I'm just like,
we don't eat any chicken anymore.
I don't eat like a slab of chicken. I'll eat chicken in things, but like a piece of chicken, gross.
You're like that. You're over it. Completely
lost my taste for it. But it is really nice when there's just other people who like get it, who understand, who are excited to do it with you. And then it's also nice that we don't have to like, we can enter any social situation and know we can grab a hot dog and enjoy it with everybody and not have to eat ahead of time, things like that. So I think that's part of our motivation on not going all the way. And sometimes just a good steak is good. So
it's really made. One of the things that this has done is that we're really picky about when we eat meat and what meat we're going to eat. Like we've stopped. It's not that we've stopped eating bacon, but we've stopped buying cheap bacon.
Yeah.
And now when we buy bacon, it's like, ooh, we're going to get some really good, thick cut, meaty bacon.
Yeah, we buy it from like Sprouts, who has really good, or we buy it from the Texas A&M ag department. They sell at a local place here.
Yeah.
And so we're also kind of supporting that education, those goals, things like that. So
Yeah, but it's nice that when we are going to have meat, it's like something we're going to look forward to, and we don't want to waste it on like a cheap cheeseburger.
No, I don't waste my meat meals.
No, because then it's like why am I eating this when I could have made myself something veggie that would have made me feel better, and then gone out to like have like something really good.
Yeah.
You know?
Something that even if you're feeling a little not great like we are right now, like,
But
you're like, it was worth it. It was
good.
really good.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we were at Cowtown Brewing tonight.
That was good. Yeah.
That was fun. Yeah, good barbecue, and beer. The beer, very nice.
And a very chatty waitress, but she was fun. I liked her.
She was fun. Yeah.
That's really.
Oh, last but not least,
Go.
environmental reasons.
Oh yes, please.
Just eating just more veggie. Just it's one of those things like eating more veggie just helps out. It's not that you have to quit all the meat, and we're not trying to persuade anybody. We're just saying what it's done for us. But one of the things that makes me feel better about doing this is that eating more veggie is just better for the environment. It really is. I get like that cows do so much harm, and to go like, yeah, I'm not gonna stop eating cows, but I'm just gonna eat a whole lot less of them.
We can reduce the amount we do, and it's when you start digging into like the environmental impact of agriculture, of animal agriculture, it's pretty astounding. And we're going to have population density and this pot problem in this world before too long. And if we can afford to feed all those cows, we should be able to just give those grains to the humans.
I'm down for meat being more expensive if that means we can that
Oh,
plants
you're gonna get
are.
nasty comments for that.
Oh, I might get. Well, I just that's just how I feel. I really am good for more veggies than not.
Absolutely.
But I really do like a good burger. Oh man, not a cheapy burger, like a good burger with like the Gruyere, fried egg on top, bacon.
Yeah. I get you.
Yeah. All right. I think that's about it.
I think that's it. That's all I wrote.
Okay.
I'm the note taker.
So, thank you everybody for joining us. This has been a lot of fun. I've definitely enjoyed doing these. This is our first Winning with Whiskey.
That's a really good idea. I like it.
Yeah,
Thank you, Kyle.
Thank you, Kyle. Let us know what you thought about this little episode. If you have some resources that you're like, ooh, you got to check this out. Or if there's if you would love for us to get a little deeper into some of the actual recipes that we've mentioned here, let us know in the comments because we'd be more than happy to help anybody out that wants to start down this journey, at least point them in the right direction.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Babe. Oh, wait, you are out.
I drained it.
You cannot. Okay, I'm going to put a little sip.
Okay. I do need a little sip. Real quick. On this bourbon, I normally cannot drink a bourbon straight, not my liquor.
How about that?
But this thing is pecan brown sugar, and like if you like, say, the honey whiskey from Jack Daniel's. This like is.
Here's the deal. I don't like the honey because it's too sweet. The honey, Jack Daniel's honey, but I like this because it just tastes good.
It's just so good. There's just like it's uber sweet, not like sickly sweet, but just like.
It's the right amount of sweet. And the right amount of like that bourbony taste. And
highly recommend it. All right.
Cheers, baby.
Cheers.
It tastes like pecan pie. That is like pecan pie.
It is pecan pie.
In a glass.
Pecan.
Yeah. Pecan.
How do you say it?
How do you say it? Leave a comment below. All right, everybody. Bye.
Bye, y'all.